This is Conway Henderson of the British Space Expedition, now returning from an unintended visit to the planet Mars. With me are Professor Mary Meadows of Toronto, Canada, Jeffrey Wedgwood, our radio and radar operator, son of Professor Wedgwood, who built this rocket, my niece, Margaret, who has been in charge of our supplies,
and Hamlet,
and, of course, our guest, Harcourt Brown, well known for his books on the existence of life on other planets. As we travel towards Earth, the largest thing in our periscope is the planet Venus, which, as you know, is...
Something coming through on our waveband.
One moment, please. Why, what is it?
Well, it must be Buchan Island trying to correct our signal strength.
That's funny. It's not on our waveband. It's crashing through it.
I'll put it through on the loudspeaker.
SOS, SOS, clear the air, please. This is urgent.
Well, who's that? That's not Buchan Island.
Shh. I've lost it. It's changed frequency.
Buchan Island's on a fixed frequency.
I don't think that was Buchan Island.
It sounded like an American voice to me.
SOS, SOS, is anyone receiving me? This is urgent.
Well, it's not for us. It's probably a general SOS call for an American station.
That call didn't come from Earth. It's from somewhere in space.
Don't be silly, Jeff. It can't be.
Well, look at the direction finder. It's pointing away from Earth.
In what direction?
I don't know. It looks about 38 degrees above the meridian.
38 degrees? I've got it. Wait. It's coming from Venus.
Well, let me look. You're right. 38 degrees above the meridian is Venus.
Oh, Jeff, you sure you're right?
Yes, I've got the carrier wave.
Hello, Buchan Island. Would you please close down the broadcast? I wish to speak to you privately. We have just intercepted an SOS message which appears to come from a direction of Venus. Can you explain? Over.
That message will take 3 minutes to reach Earth, and it'll be 3 minutes before we get the reply. Hello, SOS call. This is the British space rocket, MR4. Who are you? Over.
Hello, emergency. This is Captain Wilson of the American space rocket V7. Breaking radio silence. The ship has been struck by a meteorite. Decoding machine destroyed and oxygen reserves gone. I am now approaching the planet Venus. Repeat, this is an emergency.
It's faded.
But who is Captain Wilson?
Well, it must be an American space probe that's happened since we've been away. Did you know about this?
No, it's a complete mystery to me.
Well, perhaps it's been kept secret.
Well, how can it be kept secret? You can't send messages in space without someone on Earth picking them up.
I think Margaret's onto something. It could have been a secret mission. He said he was breaking radio silence.
Yes, and he spoke about a decoding machine. Now, what does that suggest to you, Mary?
A military mission. He was sending all his messages back in code. But what military significance could Venus have?
Perhaps the Americans know more about Venus than you, Professor Meadows.
Well, he must be in terrible trouble to have broken radio silence.
Well, if he's been hit by a meteorite, he'll be in terrible trouble.
Yes, if it was a meteorite.
What else could have damaged his rocket?
Oh, your spaceship from Venus were in orbit around Earth. Wouldn't we try to intercept it?
Oh, Brown, just hold your fairy tales until we hear from Buchan Island.
Buchan Island main control room. All right, I'll hold on.
And those are the positions. It appears that the American should have gone into orbit round the Earth, but instead his rocket overshot and it went into a slow orbit round the Sun, and has now been drawn into the orbit of Venus. This is the position here of our own MR4, making them roughly 7 million miles apart.
There was Washington on the line. Wilson's messages have been monitored all over the world, so now they've lifted security.
But they said yet why Wilson was sent up?
No, that's the bit they're keeping to themselves.
Anyway, that means I can now answer Henderson. He should be warned, particularly if there is meteorite activity in the area. Hello, Henderson and MR4. This is Buchan Island calling. I can now explain to you the message you intercepted in space. 3 weeks ago, an American astronaut was launched on a mission. Purpose is yet undisclosed. He is now in the orbit of Venus. His rocket, holed by a meteorite, and he's lost his oxygen reserves. You know what that means.
Wilson hasn't got a chance.
Henderson, our orders are for you to proceed to Earth. That is all. Over.
his oxygen runs out?
How long would it take us to reach him?
It's out of the question. Buck and Island have instructed us to take no action.
But why? We might be able to save his life.
Look, Margaret, you know what our oxygen supplies are. We've only enough to get us back to Earth.
Oh, Henderson, there's plenty of oxygen on Venus.
Oh, don't be crazy. Venus is enveloped by carbon dioxide. Every scientist knows that.
Well, I prefer to trust Margaret's humanitarian instincts and try to save a life.
Oh, I know you, Brown. You don't want to go to Venus for humanitarian reasons. You want to go there to prove some wild theory of your own. Well, I'm not risking this ship and 5 lives just to save one that's doomed anyway.
Well, it's an old law of the sea that everyone answers an SOS call, whatever the risk. I was hoping it would become a new law of space, but clearly not with people like you.
What do you think I don't want to save him as well? But I'm responsible for all your lives.
Don't let him kneel you. He just plays for the gallery.
Supposing we did go to his rescue, and supposing they send up a canister of oxygen from the Earth, well, we could keep him going till it arrived.
Now, look, Jeff, I'm quite sure the Americans will have thought of that. The reason they haven't suggested it must mean they can't have a rocket ready.
But couldn't one come up from Buchan Island?
Margaret, it took us a month at Buchan Island to prepare this rocket for the trip. For oxygen supplies to reach Venus in time, a rocket would have to be taking off at this very moment.
It's a 4-stage rocket, all right. That means a space probe.
Yes, but whose is it? Buchan Island, main control room. Yes, I'll hold. It's Washington again. Hello? What's that? Oh, good. Yes, we're tracking it. That's right. Yes? Yes, we'll speak to our pilot. Goodbye. That blip on there is a rocket. A Russian rocket. Packed with fuel and oxygen, and now on its way to Venus. What do you think of that, eh?
How did they get it ready in time?
They already had it on the pad. It was going to be their own unmanned Venus probe. And now Washington wants to know if we can cooperate by getting immediate assistance to their man around Venus.
MR4 could reach Venus in a week.
If Henderson's willing to risk it.
Oh, he'll risk it, all right, if I know Henderson.
Hello, V7. Hello, Wilson. This is the British Moon Rocket 4. We're coming to lend you some oxygen until the Russian supply rocket turns up. So hang on. Over.
Hello, MR4. Message received, thank you. Boy, is it good to hear you. You don't know how lonely I've been out here. I'm now in orbit around the planet Venus. I have enough oxygen left for 6 days, so don't make any stops on the way, eh? Over.
MR4 to Buchan Island, preparing to change course.
Astro compass reads .004 above ecliptic. Is that checked?
It checks.
Right, I'm going to give a 4-second burst on the starboard motors. Stand by.
We're on our way to Venus, eh?
Yes, we're just going into orbit, Brown. We're not going into land. You just remember that. All right. Hold on.
And how long will it take to reach Venus now?
I'd say 5 days.
Dead on course. Look. Isn't it beautiful? You know, the ancients called Venus the goddess of beauty.
Well, it may be beautiful, but that big cloud is concentrated poison.
Perhaps. We shall see.
Oh, no, you don't. The one thing about playing magnetic drafts is that you can't get away with cheating.
I wasn't cheating.
All right, I suppose girls are allowed to change their minds. Only 3 more days to Venus. What do you think we'll see there?
I don't know. Just cloud, I suppose.
There might be anything under that cloud.
Well, don't tell me you think there are people on Venus.
Oh, of course not, I don't. But Mr. Brown believes there's an advanced race living there. He describes it in one of those books he wrote.
Oh, that old stuff.
Don't you two ever stop arguing?
If Venus is the same size as Earth and has about the same amount of gravity, why isn't it like Earth in other ways?
Well, because it's nearer the sun. Besides, we can't be sure there's any water vapor in that carbon dioxide cloud.
Plants use carbon dioxide, don't they?
Well, we're not plants. And since there's no oxygen down there, that settles it, doesn't it? You're moving.
I wish I had your clarity of vision, Margaret.
Jeff, come into the control cabin for a minute, will you?
Aye, aye, Captain.
Oh, well, now, let's open up our minds a bit, shall we? The only thing we know about Venus is that it's entirely covered by a great white cloud, which the conventional astronomers on Earth insist is composed of carbon dioxide. Your move, Margaret. Now, we don't know what's beneath that cloud. Even Professor Meadows doesn't know that.
One thing I do know is there can't be any oxygen, because carbon dioxide is heavier and it would sink right down to the bottom of the planet.
Oh, you always judge everything by Earth standards. We simply don't know what's beneath that cloud.
Just get one thing clear, Brown. We don't attempt to land on Venus under any circumstances.
Of course not. Only a fool would attempt to land there.
Or a madman.
That stopped you, Margaret.
Oh, no, it hasn't.
What?
Position relative to Wilson's rocket. Well, it's time we made radio contact again, Jeff.
What do you think is the mystery of Venus? I mean, what do you think could be under that cloud?
I haven't been able to give my mind to it lately. You know, Jeff, this isn't a scientific expedition. It's a rescue operation, and a pretty dangerous one, too.
I think I'm getting something. Hello, V7. This is MR4 calling. Can you hear us? Over.
Hello there, MR4.
Glad to hear you again. I'll have to make this short and sweet. My solar batteries aren't charging. Now get this, it's important. Something mighty strange is happening out this way. My equipment's okay now, but just before I hit that meteorite shower, everything went haywire. First the radio, then the astro compass, then the radar went dead on me, and even the computers went crazy. Just about the whole of the electrical equipment. Over.
Well, it could be the magnetic field of Venus. Over.
No, it couldn't be that. I wasn't close enough. So watch your own instruments. Over and out.
Right. You can track us on our automatic bleeps. Good luck. Over and out. Well, what do you think?
Sunspot activity.
Oh, I doubt that. It wouldn't affect the whole box of tricks.
Couldn't it be magnetism? That causes radio interference.
Oh, the explanation is quite simple.
Go ahead, what?
It's obvious. The Venusians are keeping a sky watch. They're trying to get in touch with the Americans.
I know. Little men with bald heads and radio masts sticking out of them.
Oh, Professor.
Look, let's cut it out now. Our one aim is to rescue Wilson. During the next 48 hours, we've all got to be on our toes and work together. Now, we'll each keep a special watch on the instruments. We'll stay on those watches until we reach the orbit of Venus. That'll be in about 2 days' time. All right, Jeff, Margaret, Mary, you better get below and get some sleep.
Come on, you two.
Jeff and Mary, report in 7 hours for your watch.
Henderson, do you want me to stay on duty then?
Yes, I'd like to keep an eye on you.
What are you going to report about me when we get back to Earth?
Well, they already know that you've endangered our lives. But, provided you play ball from now on, I'll stand by you when we get back.
Well, that's very generous of you.
But just remember this, Brown. We're going into a very dangerous operation. You must obey my orders implicitly.
You know that I'll do everything in my power to rescue that American pilot.
Here's MR4's position, 8 hours flight from Venus. Just after midnight, Washington reported Wilson's present orbit. Apogee 480, perigee 270. And so far, MR4 hasn't run into any meteorite stuff to worry about.
Do you think there's still a danger of activity around Venus?
Oh, there's always a danger, but it's 1,000,000 to 1 chance. Anyway, by tonight, Henderson will have joined the American in orbit round Venus.
Yes, and now comes the tricky part. One tiny rocket trying to find another over an area the size of the world.
Repeat your figures, please, Captain Wilson. Over.
Angle 7 degrees, apogee 400 and...
He's cut right out.
Perhaps his batteries are packed up.
It's not his batteries, it's our receiver. There's a tremendous amount of interference, and I don't know what's causing it.
Look at the instruments. They're all spinning.
That's exactly what happened to the Americans' compass. I better check the radar.
Well, it looks as if it started first now. Whatever it is.
Mr. Henderson, wake up! The instruments are going haywire. But at least the radar's still operating. Look, there's something showing up on it. Must be Captain Wilson's rocket. Well, that's a relief.
I wouldn't be too short of that, Jeff. Look at your radar scanner position.
That thing's dead astern of us.
It can't be.
But it is. And how large would you say it is?
Well, if that distance figure's correct, well, it must be.
10 times our size. Bigger than any rocket ever built on Earth.
And the speed of it.
How far away is it?
About 1,000,000 miles.
It's a meteorite traveling at fantastic speed.
It's converging right on our course. It's following us.
All right, Jeff, keep it on beam.
I can't. The radar screen's crumbling.
Exactly the sequence of events that Captain Wilson described.
I can see it. It's glowing.
Here, let me see. Meteorite on our tail. What does that suggest to you, Mary?
Debris from a comet.
Yeah, that's all it can be. All right, I'm going to change course. Stand by for a 3-second burst. Okay. Now.
That's funny. Still following us.
All right, you take a look, Mary. I'm going to change course again.
That's the guided missile.
Do you think that's what it could be?
Well, it's following us all right, but I'm certain it's a meteorite.
Well, then why is it following us?
Wait a minute. There is one thing it could be.
Try the radio again. See if you can get in touch with the Venusians.
Well, that's a good that.
But when you people are arguing, that thing is going to catch up with us. We ought to be in touch with the Venusians by now to make sure, tell them we mean no harm.
Will you let me think? The compass is still haywire, so we've really no idea what course we're on.
What are you getting at, Mary?
Well, simply that we don't know if that's following us or if we're being drawn towards it.
Why should we be?
Well, if there were a huge piece of heavily magnetized iron ore, it could be drawing us in.
Yeah, but not at that distance.
Well, it could if it were charged with a negative electric force, stronger than we could imagine.
But where could it have come from?
Somewhere way beyond our own planetary system.
What do you mean, a comet?
Yes, a rogue comet, or part of it. The size of a battleship and 1,000 times more deadly.
I still don't understand why we're being drawn to it.
Because its whole rocket has a positive electrical charge. That thing out there's negative. Like two poles of a magnet, we're being drawn together.
We're pulling towards it fast.
If we hit it, it'll be with an impact at 150,000 miles an hour.
150,000.
It's all right.
How long have we got?
Now, just a minute. If this is a magnetic pull, then it can be reversed. Unlike poles attract, like poles repel.
What are you getting at?
Look, during the war, the Germans laid magnetic mines on the seabed. They lay there until a ship came along that attracted them, then up they came and home straight onto it. Now, we defeated those with a thing called degaussing.
Yes, I read about that. They created a DC current all around the ship.
Yes, well, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to put a coil of high-tension cable around the rocket, and we'll put a DC current through it. I'll extend the landing legs to give us more length. Right, now, Jeff, unship some high-tension cable, all you can rustle up.
Right.
Brown, get the AC-DC converter ready for use. Margaret, Mary, get the space helmets on quickly. We're going to try degaussing the rocket. If it worked at sea, and there's just a chance it can work in space, too.
Hello, MR4. This is Buchan Island calling. Can you hear me?
What's the panic?
Sorry to break up your sleep, John, but this is an emergency. MR4's radio's gone dead.
Dead?
Yes, the whole works, tracking blips and all. Jodrell Bank report unusual electrical activity in the vicinity of Venus.
Looks as if there may still be some meteors running wild out there.
That's the same picture Washington had, just before their rocket was struck.
How's it going out there?
Huh. It's filling the whole lens now. That object, whatever it is, has come from the great dark areas outside our solar system in search of a positive attraction point. Well, it's not going to be so easily cheated of its quarry.
How much time have we got?
What, 7, maybe 9 minutes?
Do you think we've got a chance?
I don't know. can see why once more power, that thing hasn't veered an inch off our course.
Then it'll hit us, and we haven't got another ounce of power left in this rocket.
Well, it's veered off. The decausing has worked.
Yes, isn't it wonderful? MR4 is now in the orbit of Venus. They made it half an hour ago. Yes, yes, release it to the press.
Now it's just a matter of circling Venus until they locate Wilson's rocket. What's the latest on its oxygen?
About 1 day's supply left. That should give MR4 time to orbit about 50 times.
And with the Russian rocket 5 days out and bang on course, it looks as if they're going to be all right.
All right, Jeff, you must get some rest, you know. I'll take over the tracking watch now.
Everything's working all right now, but the radar reception's still poor.
Well, that's to be expected. We're close to the huge magnetic mass of Venus.
Nothing from Captain Wilson yet, but he's having to go easy in his batteries. Should be about due to put through his regular call to Washington.
Well, I'll keep the frequency open.
And don't forget to record his message on tape.
Right.
Well, good night, Mr. Brown,
Night.
if it is night.
Night.
B7 to MR4. Urgent message.
Battery losing height. I'm going to make an adjustment, otherwise we'll have to land on Venus. This will be my last message. Over and out.
MR4, calling B7. We are still unable to locate you. Shall continue our search. Over and out. It's a town. A town on Venus. Ah, they'd never believe me. If only I could find some way of getting them to land. Oh, well, if I can't get them to land, maybe Wilson can. Amazing. What a difference the deletion of a few words can make. Jeffrey, Henderson, all of you, emergency, emergency.
Oh, what's wrong?
Wilson's gone into land.
Well, that's suicide. He won't last more than 15 minutes under that cloud.
And you expect us to believe this?
No, of course not. So I recorded his message on tape. You can listen for yourselves.
B7 to MR4. Urgent message. Battery's nearly dead. Losing height. We'll have to land on Venus. This will be my last message. Over and out.
We must find him.
Well, then we'll have to land too.
But no one can survive down there.
After coming all this way to rescue him, we've got to risk it.